Death Note. This was released at midnight tonight, and I pressed play at midnight. I had been waiting for this, and I wanted to review it and watch it as quick as possible. I had been really looking forward to this. I like Adam Windgard's work. Even though The Blair Witch was a little bit of a letdown, I thought the last 15 minutes of that movie was excellent, and I've really enjoyed, pretty much everything he's done. Now, first, I would like to say that I know nothing about the source material at all. I've never read the manga. I have never seen the, animation. I've never seen any of the, Japanese movies. So my review on this is completely unbiased towards that, which I think that the majority of reviews out there are going to be comparisons. And as much as I understand the desire for source material to be perfectly translated and this and that, I also have the ability to look past it as long as I'm watching a good movie. So I do not know. I would love to. I probably will eventually look at least the cartoon or the animated movies, or maybe even the comics. But until then, I do not know if this matches the source material, if it's anything like it or not. So, did I like the movie? Yes, I did. I was intrigued and completely invested in the movie the whole time. I wanted to know what was going to happen next. It very much kept my attention. I never felt bored. And I just genuinely enjoyed my time with the film. Now, this movie, if you don't know, like I didn't, I knew a very basic premise, like super basic. This kid named Light is at high school, and he sees a book fall from the sky. He picks it up. It is called the Death Note. Inside are rules pertaining to what the Death Note can do. If you write someone's name down in the book whilst thinking of their face, you can kill them in the specific way that you want. With the book comes a creature, and he is only being able to be seen by the keeper of the book. Light, of course, thinks this is bullshit, like anyone would, and doesn't believe it until he tries it out for himself, and obviously it works. Now, the thing I was worried about with this movie, and I think one of the main reasons I liked this overall, was I was afraid this was going to turn into a high school drama with revenge thrown in. Like, well, Light's being abused at school, and his dad doesn't like him, and there's a girl who wouldn't talk to him, and so he keeps writing their names down, and everything keeps very localized. And I remember sitting there while watching it and being like, well, shit, man, if this was me, this is what I would do with it. Like I know what I'd actually do with it. But I feel like it is what I would do with it. And I was like, yeah, but they'll never go that route with it. And it's exactly the route they went with it. Which was just, from there on, I think they could have fucking done anything they wanted. And I would have probably been happy just by the decisions made by Light. He also meets his soon-to-be girlfriend in this movie. And I really liked their relationship. I liked the chemistry between the two actors. I thought the actors were very well casted for their parts. I very much cared about their relationship throughout any struggles they went through. I just really liked them. Now, the creature that he keeps seeing, named Ryok, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. It is voiced by Willem Dafoe, and they couldn't have picked a better person to do this for me. Voice was fantastic. Now, I think that I've read a decent amount of reviews on this movie, and it's kind of just getting a blah, like, this isn't very good, or it's subpar. And one of the things that I had read is that Ryok looks terrible and CGI and this and that. I disagree. I think he looks great. There is some CGI elements to him, but you can tell that Ryok is definitely practical with CGI enhancements. And I totally worked for me. I never was like taken out of the movie because I was sitting there thinking, whoa, he looks so terrible. No, I thought he looked totally cool. I thought he sounded fucking totally cool. I thought he was a great character. So I don't know what the hell these people are talking about. Now, something that happens in any movie this happens in, I instantaneously like whatever's going on within that scene. And that is if it is lit with neon lighting, and there is a decent amount of neon lighting throughout this movie, and man, that always enhances any scene, even if the scene isn't even that interesting. I just love the look of neon within film, and I'm so glad that it is here. Also, another thing that you can pretty much throw on a shit movie and it can be enjoyable is a great score, a great musical selection, and I thought this movie had both. I really enjoyed all the music involved in this film. Now, getting into the things that I disliked about this movie. Now, all of these are basically plot elements being too far-fetched. Now, that's to be taken with a grain of salt, and that's one of those things where I have a problem with my feelings on that. It's like, this is too far-fetched, but a kid getting a notebook from a demigod or a god or whatever this fucking demon thing isn't too far-fetched for you. So, but it is my feelings within the film. These things did feel too far-fetched. The fact that Light's dad seems to be the only person who around that is on the opposing side of what's going on, and what it ends up becoming with him is just too convenient. It's too it's far-fetched. I mean, I feel like this is going to be a word I'm going to use here like 5 times, but it's fantastical and ridiculous. But so is the movie, so this is why I feel like I'm being hypocritical. The character of L. This character is so far-fetched and so ridiculous. It felt like I was watching, like, in the beginning of this movie, it felt like this kid was granted abnormal, supernatural type powers within the real world. When L comes into the movie, I don't feel like I'm in the real world anymore. I feel like I'm in a superhero movie. I feel like I'm in something grandiose and fantastical, something that doesn't exist. So it doesn't feel like Light is playing within the same realm of reality that I exist in, which I enjoyed about the movie in the beginning when I was like, oh, he just has this power and he's basically a god. Now, I don't know what could have stopped him, if anything does. I'm not going to give spoilers here. Unless they were to go fantastical with it and make it a little bit more far-fetched than it already was. So I kind of understand the dilemma that's created. And yet again, as I said, I don't know anything about the source material. I don't know how fantastical and far-fetched the character of L is. But the way that he is, the what he does, where he came from, all of that stuff is like, it's like a Bond villain. It's so ridiculous. It's like, okay, whoa, let's back it down a little bit. And the actor that they chose to play him, I think for what they were trying to achieve, he played it well. And I liked the actor. I liked the actor who was playing him. But it did seem a little ridiculous at times, where I was just like kind of rolling my eyes. Like, okay, they're just taking this a little too far. But I'm, on the flip side of that, I'm glad that they went so gigantic with it instead of keeping it tiny and confined, because it would just feel like he wasn't utilizing the book for its potential, as evil and fucked up as that sounds, coming from me, wanting more people to die on a larger scale. Yes, it's fucked up, but it makes more sense for the film. So I guess it's kind of you got to give a little to get a little. Like, if they were going to take it that big, they kind of had to also take this side of it bigger as well. But I don't know. I felt like they could have handled it a little bit better than they did. I don't know. The movie kind of started out, and it started to have that Final Destination feel to it. You know, where all the kills were, oh, this happens, and this happens, and this happens, and this happens, for all of these things together make the death. Just like they always do in all the Final Destination movies. And I kind of thought that was what it was going to be. And it kind of is. It has those elements to it, but it's as if one of the characters was in control of the supernatural being that is in Final Destination, controlling the elements. I mean, he's basically the Final Destination character, but we get to see him and why he's doing it. So I liked that. I know. So I did. I enjoyed the movie overall. I think that it is a movie that manga fans and anime fans are fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. I don't know anything that could be done that they'd be appreciative of or think was cool or be excited about. So I don't give a fuck what they think. I won't even bother reading a review from someone who is into it. I know that sounds fucking lame, but they're just, in my experience reading reviews from those kinds of people, their expectations, their desires, they don't even want it most of the time. They're like, I just don't want this to exist. And it's like, come on, man. This is a fun property that should be explored, and there's tons of potential with it, and I'm glad that I got to see it. I'm glad that they made it. It was a fun time. It's not a masterpiece. It's not fantastic or anything, but it's got a lot of decent gore in it too. There's some really good gore shots as well. So that was a plus. I definitely think you should check it out. It's on Netflix right now, as of 2 hours ago. So that's my thoughts on it. Let me know if you watch it.